All right, everybody, welcome back to another night of In the Mind of Music with Nate and Issa for another awesome interview. And tonight from Boston, we are joined by vocalist for Lions. We have Joshua on the phone. How are you doing, Josh?
I'm amazing. Thank you for having me.
And you go by Josh, right? We can call you Josh.
Uh, Either one, either whatever works for you. I'm not too picky about it.
Awesome, cool. You can call me Issa, and I usually go by Isabel, but yeah, Issa's fine.
Isa works for me.
Awesome. So Lions has been around since 2008. When did you join the
Yes.
band as their vocalist?
I joined the band in January of 2010, so I jumped in
Okay.
pretty early, actually.
Right, cool.
Nice.
Nice. So, besides singing, Josh, do you play an instrument? And if so, how long have you been playing it?
I do. I dabble a bit in guitar and drums and a little bit of bass. I actually just put out my first solo single where I'm playing everything, so that's available for people to check out
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
as well. But yeah, I've been playing music since I was in elementary school.
Oh, wow. So, your parents kind of put you in a music class and you just kind of decided from there on that you were just, this is your road in your life?
Well, my dad was a drummer for a living.
Oh, that makes
And he
sense.
played that. Yeah, he played that up till the end. So I basically just wanted to be as close to him as possible. And yeah, I just self-taught myself on everything, which sort of makes me a jack of all trades, master of none kind of scenario.
That's hilarious that you reminded
Yeah.
me of myself very much by saying that, actually.
And actually, me
Yeah.
too, because I self-taught myself how to use a camera. So,
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm proficient enough, but not particularly good at any one thing.
I feel you on that one.
I bet you surprise yourself sometimes, though, right?
Yeah, well, you never know till you try. That's the way I look at it.
So true, so true. So, Josh, 2 full-length albums and 4 EPs about to release another full-length album called Monument on April 21st of this year. So, tell us,
Yes.
what was the writing process like for that?
God, it's been a long time coming. We started writing for Monument
Mhm.
right after our last full length to Carve Our Names came out,
Mhm.
but that was what 2012. June of 2012 is when we started writing this record.
Oh, wow.
And
Lots of,
what we found while writing is that we would have like a set of songs that just didn't fit what we felt like the next full length should be. And those songs sort of became Changing the Definition, which we put out in 2015.
Mhm.
And those were songs that we sort of liked and felt cohesive to each other, but not to the scale of what we wanted to do with the next actual full length release.
Okay. So,
So some of the songs are old now to us at this point, like multiple years old, but they're finally in the place that we wanted them to be when we started writing the record.
okay. All right. So, do you feel like if you were to make another album after this one, do you think the music would change at all, or mature in any way? The meaning of the lyrics or anything like that? Do you guys think you would change
Yeah,
it?
well, I mean, I would hope that we would mature at least a little bit, but yeah, I just feel like our records represent where we're at and who we are at that time.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen from Direction, which was the first EP, there's we sort of do a little bit of everything, and I feel like we've always sort of messed around with our sound and done small stylistic tweaks, and we've messed around with like pop songs, and we've messed around with heavier, weird minor key songs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always sort of evolving. We've just kind of learned not to be scared to try things.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that. I know a lot of people try to stick too much into a specific genre, and they're afraid to reach outside the box. But I've noticed that in the last few years, more and more people are being less hesitant to do that, and
Absolutely.
it's just creating this awesome mix of different styles.
Sure.
Yeah, Bring Me the Horizon was actually one of my favorite examples of that,
Oh yeah.
where they were this very heavy, sort of abrasive band, and suddenly they just start
Started to
singing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so
and
true.
it's awesome.
No, and a lot of people freaked out. Like it was kind of an iffy there for a little bit on
No.
whether or not people would accept it.
But wait,
Oh,
well,
sure.
on the Bring Me the Horizon front, though, a lot of people did freak out, and they actually lost some fans, and then they gained a
Oh, of
lot
course.
of other fans too. So you just never know. But you got to do what's best for your band. If that's what you feel like doing with your music, I think that you just got to try it.
Yeah, and to be completely honest about it, I think that it was a really intelligent business decision because as much as I love heavy metal and hardcore metal and a really good screamer, there's a very small group of people that actually enjoy listening to that all the time.
Right.
Whereas, there's a lot larger of a group for the singing. So they may have lost a little bit of fans, but in the long run, they ended up gaining a larger variety of fans that they could have grabbed.
And I'm sure
And
it's
Yeah,
that's,
it's
difficult.
certainly
Oh, go ahead.
it's certainly more accessible.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that's the thing, but a lot of that it comes down to separating, art and a product.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're an artist and you are content with creating the same thing over and over, it doesn't seem very artistic to me.
No, I totally agree.
It seems like, artists they need to push the envelope and they need to evolve and change. And that's what separates art from a product. You can just stamp your name on the same thing over and over and it'll do well. But, it's not fulfilling to the actual people writing and performing the music. That's sort of the difference.
Totally. And I think that to go along with that you end up losing people in the long run if you don't change. Because as we grow older and as we all change, we all change in certain ways. And I think our fans change at the same time. And they kind of grow with the music as you grow in your own music as well.
I wonder if it had anything to do with also the voice. I mean, because it's got to be hard and straining for a vocalist to constantly be in that range, screaming. I mean, it's got to be really difficult. You guys are both vocalists. I mean, you tell me. I mean, how would you feel your voice would perform like 10 years from now?
Well, I mean, there is a proper way to do it. I don't know how many people are doing it the proper way, but there are actual vocal techniques and exercises to do to sort of prolong the screaming thing.
Oh, okay.
But I'll tell you that for me, like our new record doesn't have any screaming on it, and it's something that I've done on a couple records and haven't done on most. To me, singing is just more fun. There's more expression. Screaming is sort of just the one. You're clearly angry. And you're pushing that, and you're like, okay, we get that. He's things are not great for this guy.
I love that you just said that.
I love that though.
It's such an awesome way. Well, it's always one of.
Oh, that guy's really angry. Are you okay? Do you need a grief session after this?
Right, but singing is so much more expressive. You can push sort of any emotion that you've got, and it just sort of opens up and gives you a wider palette with what you can do with a song.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, and as a photographer, I'd like to add that you definitely get a lot better pictures. Your emotions are very much conveyed in when you're singing versus screaming. You're always gonna have that face, but when you're singing, you have like this beautiful connection through a photo. I'm a photographer. I mean I edit tons and thousands of photos, but not to go into that too much. But yeah, I love it when I photograph somebody when they're actually singing in a melodic fashion or whatever when they're singing. So I love it. I'm right there with you guys. So moving on to the next question. Do you guys plan on shopping the album that's going to come out right now to record labels, or do you guys remain independent, do yourself?
God, geez, I don't know. I guess if something came along, and the offer was beneficial to get our music out there more, then I wouldn't say that we're opposed to the idea. This is our second release we're doing independently, and it's kind of freeing not to have the restraint of, if you're on a label and they're the one supplying the money, if they don't like the material, they're not going to put it out. And you could feel like it's your best material of your life. That could be your masterwork, your Sgt. Pepper.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter unless the money guys like it too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's an issue we had when we were working on To Carve Our Names back with a now defunct subsidiary label from Century Media. We had whole batches of songs just denied. And I was like, okay, back to the drawing board, I guess.
Huh. That's got to be a feeling.
Yeah, it's something. So there's a lot of like bitter resentment when it comes to that whole process, I think, on our part, where it's sort of like, listen, we all, like Brandon and I both produce in our free time. So we have our little home studios accessible to us 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So why not let's just write our own stuff, and it's cheap to throw it up on TuneCore and get your music on iTunes and all that. Print up some CDs and just put it out and see if people care.
Yeah, and Brandon's your guitar
player. That's kind of where
player.
we're at.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And yeah, I totally agree with that. I really respect bands that are just doing the independent thing now and just cutting out the middleman and labels. If they have a wide enough fan base, I've learned from talking to different bands is they just feel like they can do it. They can just bring along their fans. Their fans are always going to be faithful, and they're going to put out music and have that creative control over their own stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, kudos to you guys for that.
Oh,
And,
thank
yeah.
you.
And just to bring a side question up on that, you were talking about a defunct record label. Did you guys get the rights back for the albums that were with those labels at that point, or did Century Media keep it?
Well, no, yeah, it ended up going just to Century Media.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the label that we were on was called Hollywood Waste,
Huh.
and it was supposed to be a subsidiary that would market sort of the Warped Tour crowd was the
Gotcha.
idea.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And yeah, it I don't know what happened, but it fell very, very quickly.
Yeah, no,
And that was that.
yeah, I
And then
actually
we're
just thought
left.
the same thing.
Yeah, we're left with, our sort of post-hardcore kind of pop whatever rock band on this, like English metal label with Lacuna Coil and bands like that. It's like, okay, I don't think this is the place for us. So we just sort of went our own merry way after that.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about online music sharing, and do you ever give your music away for free, and why do you?
Well, I mean, our stuff's on Spotify. That's basically free.
True.
Boy, you have to have a lot of streams in order to financially make anything on that.
Yeah.
But the online music thing is cool. I always talk about how it's harder to make money as an independent artist now, or just in music in general. And the reason for that is that music's accessible to everyone, and anyone could download GarageBand, record a song, and throw it up on iTunes, and then there's more competition in the market.
Yeah.
So as far as business goes, it's not great to be so oversaturated. But I think in the grand scheme, we have more art and we have more creativity and we have more people's voices out there. So, ultimately, I'm for it. I dig it. I dig the fact that I was able to just track a song, throw it up. There it is. Someone in China can go on iTunes and they can check that out if they want.
That's awesome. As long as they're listening to your music, which is cool.
Right, exactly. And we put our stuff on YouTube, and that's a lot of people download MP3s from YouTube. We're not opposed to it. We never attack torrent sites that have our albums or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because ultimately the goal is for people to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's a good question to ask because sometimes you get an artist that is just totally like against it. Like, just like, nope, like put my foot down. I don't think that's cool. But like,
For sure.
yeah, it just is how you feel about your music and how many people you want actually listening.
Yeah, I think that attitude is kind of antiquated. That's
Yeah.
sort of the old business model. That's Metallica going after Napster type of stuff.
Oh, good old Lars.
Yeah, I think we're over that at this point. I think this is the new wave, and I think we've all sort of accepted that this is what we have to adapt to.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Josh, it's
Totally.
pretty refreshing actually. So so when you guys do a music video for one of the songs in the new album, which one do you think or hope it will be and why?
Well, we have 2 so far.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know.
And I understand the confusion because that's one of the downsides of doing everything yourself is that any sort of pitfall that comes up can throw a wrench in the works. Last year we put out videos for a song called Between Us and a song called Winter, and those songs at the time were just singles because we were still working on funding and recording the record.
Yeah.
So we wanted to sort of put something out just so people knew that we were still kicking and still existed. So yeah, there is officially 2 music videos and 1 lyric video for our 3rd single, Standby,
I saw
from
that
this
one
record.
earlier.
Okay, right on. But we do understand that it's confusing, so we will be doing another video, and we are stuck between 2 of the songs at the moment, so we're not sure.
Ah, okay. You can't tell us. You can't even give us a hint.
Well, I mean, as of now, no one's heard any of the songs yet.
Ah, okay. Well, that's true
So,
because of the 21st.
Yeah, right. So it's a mystery what the songs sound like. It's a mystery which one it'll be.
There you go. Listeners,
But
you're going to have to listen.
We should, it shouldn't be long after the release. We tend to get things done very quickly in a very guerrilla style. That's sort of what we do.
What is a guerrilla style?
Guerrilla style is
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
guerrilla tactics.
Ah,
Just
okay.
we go to locations we're not supposed to be at, and we shoot very quickly.
Yeah,
We spend as little money as possible and hope that the police don't arrive is basically how we shoot.
No.
They call it
All of our
stealing
music
scenes in
videos.
the video.
Oh man.
Yes.
That's genius. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. All right. So anything you would like to share from new merch to upcoming shows, tours, and well, we already talked about the album. So anything going on?
Yeah, we have 3 CD release shows coming up at the end of the month. These are all New England shows, so that won't help you guys in your area.
Yeah.
But we're doing New Hampshire, Providence, and Boston
Okay.
on the 28th, 29th, and 30th of April. And then at the end of August, we are going to Europe for the first time.
I
That's
saw that, and I
exciting.
was hoping you'd mention that. It was actually a comment to one of your fans because they were asking if you guys were going to go, and you said you'll be there. So what's that like for an independent band to just go to Europe? How's that?
Well, I can't tell you yet.
Well, the feeling, I guess the prospect.
Oh, it's scary. It's scary to go to an entirely new land where you go in expecting absolutely no one to show is what you kind of have to.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the mindset has to be. So you kind of have to look at it like, hey, we're going to go on a Europe vacation, and we'll stop every once in a while and play some tunes and see if anyone digs it.
Hell yeah.
But you never know what to expect. You know, we've done all of Canada, we've done all of the States, and we've done some dates in Mexico as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we've never left the continent with our music. So it's overwhelming. It's scary, but it's very exciting.
Yeah, and you chose the right place to do it because they actually still really love music over there.
Yeah, they get down.
Yeah, we've heard very good things. Our friends in a Lost for Words have done a lot of touring overseas.
Very cool.
And they always never want to come back. So I think that is a good sign. So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that I also hear that they're so much more motivated to buy your music on site too.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll be fully stocked. We'll have our record there. So
cool.
I don't know. Again, I have no idea what to expect. I don't know if anyone in Germany has heard of our band, but if a couple of people show up, we're more than happy to play for them.
Well, I'll tell you what, Josh, now that we have your music on the iporadio.com site, you will be heard in Germany because we have a lot of listeners there. In fact, a lot in Europe. So
that's absolutely perfect.
Yeah. So there you go. We get messages all the time from people overseas talking about they love our station, they love the music, where can they find the music, all that stuff. And we're very easy because we can, link all the, websites to your band on the actual player and all that stuff. So definitely gonna get some coverage over there. So I have some.
That's
fun,
amazing.
Yes.
Love that.
What's going on? Oh, so I have some fun questions. How many In-N-Out burgers has your band visited together? And
good God.
Yeah, because you guys mentioned In-N-Out.
Yes, absolutely. I grew up in Reno, Nevada, and I lived there when I joined the band and moved to New England. So I had the honor of having In-N-Out Burger in my neighborhood.
Was it different in every city, like sort of?
No, it's absolutely consistent, which is what makes it so great. It's exactly the same. It's everything good in the world mushed into a meat patty and cheese, and it's
animal style.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yes.
Of course.
Oh, definitely.
You have to.
All right.
But, God, how many burgers or how many locations we've been to? We've been to most, I want to say.
Oh, wow.
Huh.
No, I was just wondering if it was different or just, the same everywhere you went. Because sometimes you go to a Pizza Hut in different states, it's totally different or whatever. So
I remember we were in Texas and we had to drive to Nevada. I think we were playing in Reno. And we instantly set the GPS to the Kingman, Arizona In-N-Out Burger. It was a little bit out of the way, but it was the closest In-N-Out we could find. And so that's sort of how we travel, is we travel to whatever the closest In-N-Out is, and then we'll find the venue from there.
Wow, that works.
That sounds like me with Walmarts.
Unfortunately, Walmart's our hotel every night on tour. So.
Gosh, so many bands. If I had a penny or a dime, nickel, whatever,
I know,
as they say. So we'd like to thank you, Josh, for your time tonight.
Absolutely,
on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Should we talk about my snafus all day today? I, being an idiot, have been calling these fine folks all day, trying
gosh.
to do this interview because I am apparently temporarily mentally challenged.
No.
No, like I
That's
said,
totally
dude,
okay. It happens.
Arizona's a very, very confusing
I
state.
guess Arizona's mentally
Yeah,
challenged.
if you actually go into your time zones on your computer, we have our own time zone. So you'll see
Oh my
Mountain Time
God.
Zone, and then right below that it'll
That's-
say Mountain Arizona.
Mountain,
Right.
Arizona. Okay, yeah. So it was a mess. So I called 4 hours early, and then I called an hour early, and now we're doing this now,
Yes.
right before I go to work. So
Uh-huh.
this has been a mess. Thank you for being so patient with my
Of course, Josh.
seemingly.
yeah.
I refuse to understand what time it is.
We're musicians too, man. I know how it goes.
Yeah, not known for being the sharpest crayons in the toolbox. Huh?
No, that's fine. I mean, I'm dating Nate over here. Well, I can go on and on about that. So
Hey, fair
everybody,
enough.
so everybody listening right now, don't forget to check out this band on all musical platforms. Subscribe to their YouTube channel to keep up with the band's visuals, and don't forget, if you're on the East Coast, Lions will be performing April 28th in Manchester, New Hampshire, April 29th in Providence, Rhode Island, and April 30th in Boston, Massachusetts, which is their hometown. And
Correct.
yes, and also don't forget to pick up a copy of their new album, Monument, on April 21st. Josh, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Be safe. Enjoy Europe. Take some pictures.
yeah.
Yes, thank you
Have
so
a
much.
good time.
It's been awesome. Thank you for giving us the shout out and letting us chat, because things like this help our band a lot. So I
Yes.
appreciate you spreading the good word.
Yeah,
Anytime.
no problem. It's our pleasure, man.
Anytime.
All right, well, let's do this again for the next record. I'm excited.
Yeah,
All right.
call us
No,
and tell us
anytime.
about Europe. Anytime.
Beautiful. Let's do it. I'm in.
All right,
Awesome.
man.
All
We'll
right,
talk to you
Josh,
soon.
have a good night.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. Bye
All
bye.
right.